And you're looking live at CQ Arena in Towson, Maryland, where tonight the three-time defending champion Baltimore Blast will take on the expansion or SL Soccer. Suddenly the Blast are back in first place and back in their winning ways. What changed for the Blast, Lee?
Honestly, not much. Listen, Danny has done a great job with his team. He's been integrating a lot of younger players into the lineup. And when you do that, there's going to be some bumps along the way. I think this team has grown, and I think only people who were discounting the Blast and saying that the dynasty is over are people that really don't know the game. I bumped into Giuliano Oliveri from Milwaukee over the weekend at a tournament in Las Vegas where he was coaching his son's outdoor team, and he said the same thing. He goes, listen, until you beat the champ, they're the champs.
There you go. And let's look on the other side of the pitch. An Orlando team that's technically an expansion team, but they bring over 8 players from last year's Cedar Rapids team that, oh, by the way, made the playoffs. And then they combine them with MASL veterans like Peter Sleva, Neto, and Tiago Freitas. And the SeaWolves found themselves only one game out of the second playoff spot in the South Central Division. They're looking up at Kansas City and St. Louis for that spot to take on Milwaukee in the playoffs. And even with all that experience spread across the roster, the story of Orlando begins and ends with their all-league forward, Gertie Gerson. He arrived in the MASL 5 years ago with a breakout rookie season. He had 46 goals in 23 games, and he'll be the story tonight offensively as we see the kickoff here quickly as the Blast get under action. We'll talk about starting lineups and keys to the game quickly. But, Lee, here we go. This one should be fun.
Yeah, so, you know, when a team is looking to make the playoffs, you want to get out to a really fast start. You don't want to give them any momentum. So the start of this game for the Blast is going to be very, very important.
Ball quickly out, and the Blast will get a substitution. Switch a couple players out, and Andrew Hoxie will step on the field. His first action since scoring a hat trick in the game last week against Harrisburg. The ball gets switched out. So the starting lineups for tonight's game for the SeaWolves, Gertie Gerson gets the start. Tiago Freitas, traded over from Harrisburg City, will be the start. Ball headed into William Van Zella. Derek Huffman on the back line, Edwin Rojas, and Rainier House gets the start in goal for Orlando. For the Blast, William Van Zella, we saw in goal. Tony Donatelli and Adriano Dos Santos on the back line. Jamie Thomas, Mike Diesel, and Vinny Dantas were the starters as Andrew Hoxie gets spilled here by Derek Hoffman. And a free kick for the Blast. Mello over top. Hoxie, Juan Pereira, Adriano Dos Santos, and Elton De Oliviero on the field for the Blast. Mello will preside over the free kick, 2-man wall.
These are going to be extremely important tonight, Andrew. You know, you have a team, although they have some experienced players, it's their first year together, so they're not going to be as cohesive on set pieces as, say, like a Milwaukee or a Utica that had teams, boys that were playing together on the same teams for years.
Well, we saw that in the game last week again, between Kansas City and Orlando, where they were dominant on the offensive end of set pieces, but defensively struggled a little bit. As we see House takes a shot, and William Van Zella forced to go down low and parry it away.
What a nice strike from the keeper.
And it's interesting, in the league rule changes now, the goalie's not allowed to cross midfield until the fourth quarter, so House back behind midfield and still put a shot on cage.
So I like what the Blast is coming out doing. They're putting some initial pressure on the ball, which I like, but the rotation with the players behind has to be a little bit more cohesive. That ball into the forward was too easy.
Juan Galvez steps in. Juan, you're playing only his 3rd game of the year so far for the Blast. He steps in and gets some early minutes. Turnover now. And Orlando pushes. Mello takes it away. And Dos Santos up at that point position, tries to get it back to Galvez, but unable to do so. And here's a fast break on the other direction.
Yeah,
Orlando will pull out.
There's been some open opportunities here on both ends. A little sloppy at the beginning. Orlando had a 3v2. They did not execute well. And then the Blast just had a 3v2, and there was a turnover.
Tiago Freitas brings the ball up the half field. We see Rojas sends it back down to Tiago. Tiago matched up 1-1 with Melo.
So the games we've had this year, Andrew, when the Blast has been difficult and when they've played well, when they've been difficult to handle, on the offensive end, there's been a lot of movement. When they're stagnant is when they start to get caught in transition. They start to have difficulty scoring.
Man, I'm used to being down on the field and the ball flying at me, but now I thought up here I'd have a little chance to react, but that one goes up in the stands quickly and went up into one of the boxes. And I think we're going to have to get a new ball down on the field here. 12:16 left in the first quarter. Blast against the SeaWolves. As we said, the SeaWolves fighting for the playoff lives. The Blast tied for first place, trying to play. They've clinched the playoffs, but trying to play for the Eastern Division Championship.
Well, you can kind of figure out the strategy of Orlando early, whether it was the keeper dumping the ball in front of the box or just defenders taking shots into the box, and they're having two forwards screening William, kind of looking for that deflection. So I think they're playing to the short field and really looking to get the ball in front of William with some players in front of him.
Dos Santos sends it over to Donatelli, shot and a score! Well, there it was, Lee. You talked about the restarts and how important they would be, and two veteran players, Adriano Dos Santos and Tony Donatelli.
Yeah, more than that, look at the Orlando players, right? So this is when you don't have a unit that hasn't played long together. They're kind of pointing who should have gone. So there's a little indecisiveness that comes with being a new team.
Yeah, hands up there as Donatelli wasted no time burying that. Went with the right foot there. Interesting for Donatelli, who usually prefers the left. And the Blast out to an early 1-0 lead. Donatelli with the assist from Dos Santos. .259 on the goal. Donatelli from Dos Santos. And the Blast up 1-0 as Vanzella gets the ball. Quick distribution. Jamie Thomas has some room.
Great to see the Blast transitioning so quickly from defense to offense. That's twice already they've had Orlando on the transition.
Ball down along the boards. Vinny separated from it. And here comes Alvarez, 3-on-3. He'll reset and send it back out to Schmerman. And there's the long shot, as you mentioned. Screener's not in front. It goes wide.
Yes, it's interesting. With the keeper of Williams' quality, they feel like they really can take these shots from a distance. I don't know if it's something they saw on film but they're taking some shots from a distance on them.
That'll be a turnover there as the early pressure. And there's a shot right off the crossbar. Rebound controlled.
Yeah, that's a sloppy turnover. You can't give that ball away in the middle of the field like that. It's got to go up the board or it's just got to go out wide.
Well, let's start keeping track here, Lee. By my count, I think that's the 4th or 5th shot now that we've seen Orlando take from outside the yellow line. That one right on the yellow line. That's definitely the strategy that Orlando's employing. It's Andrew Hoxie now isolated against Schmerman. Schmerman goes down, and Andrew Hoxie's going to be called for a foul. I didn't see that one.
It's a bit unfortunate. I think Andrew played him very well and tried to take the inside of him, and he clipped his heel a little bit as he got around him.
House will send it down. That's Rojas, Oswaldo Rojas down low.
Oswaldo's looking a little bit confused out there right now.
He's had a good year so far. 18 goals, career high for Orlando. Came over from Cedar Rapids. Also was a Chicago Riot player. Melo will send it on the boards, trying to get over to Hoxie, but House gets it.
Yeah.
Quick distribution to Tiago.
I'd like to see Hoxie get into the box a little bit quicker than that. It wasn't necessarily meant for him, but if he's in better position, you got a chance at that one.
Hoxie will pressure high. The SeaWolves break it. And there we see Gordy Gerson. Tiago creates the turnover, spins on Hoxie. Hoxie wins the ball back. Nascimento with his first shift, and he'll kick it down to Vanzella.
I tell you, Orlando's really dangerous in the counterattack when they move the ball. but they've gotten caught kind of shooting themselves in the foot twice already over dribbling when they've had guys wide open.
Raley with a dangerous position, but Donatelli helps him recover it. Nice move there by William Vanzella. Fake out Gordy Gerson.
They've got numbers here. They've got to take advantage and get a good opportunity on net.
Orlando tries to take the shot.
Yeah, a little slow by Orlando, though. He's got to either get the shot off or play that far post.
Galvis back in for another shift. He gets kicked in the face, distributing back to Donatelli. Thomas in the, well, that was an interesting angle to take a shot at. Almost caught House sleeping.
I'm not necessarily sure that that was a shot, but.
It had the effect, huh?
Yeah. So if you think about it, Andrew, it's been at least 5 times now that Orlando has found someone posting up centrally. The Blast has got to be aware of that, and I'm sure Danny and David will recognize that they're trying to post the guy up top and get runners off him. And they've done a good job of at least 2 or 3 times already this game. They've got to force the ball out wide.
Dantas and Rojas come together in midfield. Orlando wins the ball and settles. We see Mike Diesel. Mike Diesel, a milestone game tonight, his 100th game as a Blast player.
That's amazing. I coached Mike in high school.
There you go. Did you think you would have 100 games in the MASL when you were coaching him?
I knew he would be a good player. So, I mean, listen, Mike has some intangibles you can't teach. He's got an incredible work ethic, and he's got desire. He's really tough, so this is not surprising me at all.
Well, there we go. And as we saw Vinny Dantas sky the ball out, that'll be the official timeout. We'll take 1-2. 7:32 left in the first. Blast lead the SeaWolves 1-0.
Nothing feels better than when my Megabank treats me like a number.
Fed up by poor Megabank service? Life's better when you seek you. With a smile. With a friend. Any way you need. And wherever life takes you. So, do you seek you?
Stepping into the unknown, it can be difficult to find the way. But with the compassion and strength of a name and the security of the cross and shield, obstacles become openings. As we have for more than 75 years, we'll continue to light the way, using our knowledge to create new healthcare solutions, giving you the power to shine forward to whatever awaits tomorrow. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield. Live fearless.
All right, and we're back. First quarter action. Oliviero and Rojas down. Oh, and that's a dangerous situation as Gerson was cutting through. Good job by Jeremy Raley to get in front. And the ball gets sent out. Pereira against Huffman. Tiago with some space, a spin. Oh, and William Vanzella equal as he parries it up over the boards, and we'll see a free kick here. Gordy Gerson presiding, and Alvarez comes on. It'll be Alvarez, Schmerman, Huffman, and Rojas with Gordy Gerson on the ball rather. Dantas and Pereira on the wall. Mello, Raley, and De Oliveira out there as well. Gerson tries to sneak it through, but Mello equal to the task.
Great job by the Blast being disciplined there, not letting anything through the middle, forcing it out wide.
Juan Pereira, freshly shaved, and we'll see a 3-line pass there as his effort forces the turnover, and the Blast will get a restart on the yellow line.
So Danny must have recognized that they're trying to play the post guy, because now already twice after the timeout here, Rarely's been fronting the forward Gerson as opposed to standing behind him.
Which this short yellow lines, that enables you to do. As you see, Donatelli sends it down. Dantas with a lot of pace on it, but deflected out. De Oliveira tries to send it through to Raley. Intercepted. Schmerman on the break. Schmerman sends it over to Rojas. Rojas with some space. Dantas with a steal.
I would like to see the Blast, if they can. They're changing right now, but they've had some opportunities to get Orlando in transition. They seem to be a little bit slow in that transition from offense to defense, where I feel like the Blast can take advantage of them.
Jeremy Raley and Andrew Hoxie up high. Hoxie trying to get the turnover, forces it down. John Orlando matched up against Gerson. Good job to head it away. And a foul called here. And the official will march it off.
I think a little fortunate on that call. I'm not sure how much of a foul that was.
I was thinking the same thing. Didn't want to say it. Vanzella will send it down to Hoxie at the point position.
Or that's where we've got to take advantage of Orlando. You had two guys on Hoxie and not in good defensive shape. They've got to find the open man there.
Adriano Dos Santos, who had a lot of success playing that point forward position. He's done that several times, had a hat trick last game. And, you know, it's interesting, he made the all-league team as a defender, but played mostly the point forward position. Adriano's kind of had a little renaissance this year playing that point forward position.
No, I really like Adriano up top. He's big, he's strong, he's got soft feet, he makes good decisions up top.
Vanzella with a save, knocks it out. What's interesting about Adriano is we've seen that shift come in the second half. So he's played that normal defensive position for the first half and then kind of come in to give a second look. Oh, it was a dangerous ball there. He almost scored on his own goal. I like that opportunity there. Dos Santos.
The Blast got caught sleeping there. They were not ready for that free kick, and they almost paid for it off a bad deflection.
Ball down in the corner.
Great job by Adriano clearing that ball, making sure it doesn't go 3 lines.
Such a fine line, per se, to make in this field.
Yeah.
Tiny midfield area.
It's a difficult little, almost half chip.
Well, it is interesting, despite this being a franchise of, expansion franchise rather, you do have several 8 players from Cedar Rapids playing on this team. Of course, they played the first game ever played in CQ Arena, the Cedar Rapid Rampage, losing to the Blast 8-7 back in 2017. As Adriano Dos Santos gets into it behind the play, the official, good job of stepping in.
Yeah.
As Freitas and Dos Santos were face to face, and I thought punches were going to be thrown.
Now, you know, honestly, I like when Adriano gets into it a little bit because it gets the energy of the boys up.
Dangerous play for Thiago, and then Dos Santos comes in and cleans it up. Great job by William Vanzella to keep the space there. And Dos Santos not only, oh, looked like a handball there.
Great.
Orlando's not going to like that as William Vanzella goes down to play with Thiago, who's going to kick it. And here comes Thiago and Dos Santos still going at it.
Great job by Williams standing Thiago up, but that's 3 times now. He's either had a one-on-one or numbers up, and he's decided to dance on the ball. At some point, you have to make the correct decision.
Well, it's funny, they're pulling the trigger from behind the yellow line when they're right in front of the goal face. As Adriano with a nice break gets through. Schmerman tries to clean it up, and Adriano draws the foul.
It's a great job. Smart veteran move by Adriano. He knew he was going to clear it up the board, and he just made sure he pinned himself to the board as he was running up to get the deflection to move forward.
That'll be the second foul on Schmerman. Mello sends it down low. William comes all the way out of his box. He's not going to let Gordy Gerson get the ball in that much space.
Yeah, very dangerous there by William coming out, and Mello covered for him. I thought Mello had the better angle to come out to continue his defensive run there than Mello coming out.
The Blast survived thanks to a nifty chip up and a half bicycle kick from Dos Santos. But Orlando City has the ball and will reset the offense. Rojas down low, and he'll send it back out to House. House over to Schmerman. Schmerman back to House. House will come over the yellow line and chip it down low.
See, great decision by Danny. You can tell that you know that he talked to his boys about fronting, because House is telling his player to check in front, and Diesel wouldn't allow him. So then he had to play it in the corner, which is a less dangerous ball.
The adjustments, the game within the game.
Of course.
We're not even a quarter of the way through the game, but already coaching adjustments, and we'll see what Orlando does to counter that. As we see Diesel again in front, the ball down low, and he gets a steal. Mello, Thomas cutting in front. Mello pulls it back. Hoxie's got some space, and Mello will draw a foul.
This is a good position for a free kick here.
Dangerous opportunity for the Blast as Mello gets up. Orlando rather, not happy with it. Dos Santos got a lot of space out there. Gerson has to spread and push a little bit. I don't think they want to give Adriano that much room, and there he goes, starting to move.
Thomas over the top here. There we go.
Oh,
handball.
Wow.
Wow, what a great ball over the top. Great strike by Thomas. Kind of looked like he caught it.
Oh. Donatelli just misses on a beautiful feed from Juan Pereira. De Oliveira settles. He's got room, and he takes a shot and sails it just a little bit. And a couple good opportunities for the Blast there to extend that lead to 2-0.
Yeah, that was an excellent free kick. A little bit unfortunate not to get that one on target.
Nifty flick on from Nerano, but sent into William Vanzella, and he'll look to redistribute. Juan Pereira has some space on the left board. Unable to control it. Freitas will settle and send it back, and Orlando gets a chance to regroup, and that'll be a three-line pass. Whoa! Very close to a three-line pass. The referee in good position. He doesn't call it.
Yeah, the forward did well to get that right on the line.
Donatelli will pressure Freitas and force House to come up. And again, Raley fronting, forces the ball down into the corner. And Lee, there you see the experience of Danny Kelly and David Bascom providing an advantage for the Blast here.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you could see what they were trying to do right away, trying to post the big men up top and get some runners, and they had some success off it early on, so the adjustment was a smart one.
Galvis has third or fourth shift so far. He's getting a lot of playing time for a guy that's only played 2 games so far this year.
Yeah, he's got to stop. You could see it. I was just going to say he's got to stop diving in. He's trying to muscle him and hit him from behind. It's eventually going to be a foul, and there you go.
Keeps jabbing in with his foot.
Got to move your feet. You got to defend with your feet.
Huffman earns the free kick with 22 seconds left, 22.6 to be exact. And there's William Vanzella equal to the task as Huffman was on frame. Ball comes all the way back out to House. 15 seconds now. Freitas kicks it in the goalie. William will milk every second he can. And he'll send it down to Donatelli. Donatelli on Freitas. 5-4, and that's how it'll end. The first quarter comes to a close. The Blast leading 1-0 over Orlando. And Lee, what have you seen so far from these two teams?
Honestly, kind of a little bit sloppy on both ends. I think, you've seen some good play by both teams, but a lot of kind of unforced turnovers, a little bit sloppy on both ends.
All right, well, we'll see some fun second quarter action when we come back from the break. It's Baltimore Blast 1, Orlando SeaWolves 0. You're watching MASL Soccer on MASL.tv. Hey Lee, did you know the MASL now has a podcast? You can join host Craig Elstein as he talks to players, officials, and coaches from across the league and takes you behind the scenes of the MASL. Check out MASLsoccer.com to listen to past episodes and subscribe to the official MASL podcast. And outside of being on the team, the best way to know what's happening in the MASL is to tune in to Kick This. Every weekend, Soccer Sam discusses the ins and outs of the MASL action. Find Kick This every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern on iHeartRadio. And how about Soccer Sam? Did you see that result last night? As his Rochester Lancers in the MASL 2 defeated the defending champion Chicago to move on to the Final Four. Good to see him and that Rochester Lancer franchise come back and make the Final Four in the MASL 2, the Development League.
Yeah, Rochester's a great area for soccer. It's got great history. It's nice to see them back in the league.
Wish him well in the playoffs. And, of course, a familiar face for Blast fans in the goal for the Lancers now is Joey Capinos up there playing goal for the Rochester Lancers. Played well last night in the winning game.
Yeah, it's good for Joey to get some minutes. And you know, unfortunately, we have William here.
Well, I think fortunately and unfortunately.
Unfortunately for him, fortunately for us. Yeah, absolutely. Sorry.
Exactly. And then we'll see the restart as Dantas gets the foul. Orlando not happy that a card wasn't called. And Dantas will pressure House. Schmerman sends it over. Mello steals it. Dantas runs into it. Nascimento sends it over to Orlando. Orlando chesses it. And House with the save. Nascimento will try and settle and brings it all the way back out. And not sure what the call is there, but it looks like it'll be Orlando restart.
Yeah, I think it went out of bounds.
Okay.
Andrew, I'd like to see this quarter. I would like to see the Blast start moving the ball a little bit quicker, getting the ball up top, and then when they get the ball up top, we have to have runners. When they're difficult to defend, when they score a lot of goals, they get the ball up top and they move. I know it's a constant emphasis from Danny, movement off the ball. That's when they're dangerous.
There's Dantas on the break, takes it to the wide side, but unable to find the net. Thomas will send it back out to Diesel. The Blast will switch. Jamie Thomas unmarked. If Dos Santos can find him, he does.
Hoxie.
2-on-3.
Oh,
Hoxie was a little
unfortunate.
late
Yeah,
coming on.
Hoxie was trying to sneak back post there coming off the bench. I was hoping Jamie saw him.
Jamie unable to win the ball, and Orlando takes it away. Nice job getting it through. Huffman will settle. Sends it back to the Schmerminator, as he's known.
It's a missed opportunity there from the Blast. They had Orlando pinned in, and they just did not do a very good job of defending there.
That could have been close. They're going to call it outside the yellow line. That could have been close to a restart there.
Yeah, I think he was over.
Juan Pereira on the back line sends it down to Andrew Hoxie playing the point forward position. Schmerman says he got hit in the head. Referee says play on. Hoxie tries to find Dos Santos, just misses him.
Hoxie does a good job of holding him off there. I would like to see a runner at the top get around so it's not always off the boards.
Schmerman and Dos Santos will come together in the corner. Had exchanged some words after the previous play. Donatelli runs across. He'll send the pass through.
There we go.
And look at that. The young man steps in. Juan Galvis, his first MASL goal. Juan Galvis with the finish as Donatelli. There's the run you called for as we see the CQ goals for kids. Well, here's the replay. Lee Dos Santos settles in the corner. Donatelli with a beautiful pass. And then Galvis, what a great finish. Just earns position and puts it in the back of the net.
Yeah, he did a great job. Galvis does a good job of getting inside of him and putting his arm in there and kind of holding the defender off. Obviously, coach from Orlando is not going to be happy. You got to be goal side there. You can't let that happen. But great finish.
So Juan Galvis, his third game. The forward out of New York, 5'6", 163 pounds. He earns his first MASL goal in only his third game.
New Yorker in the house, huh?
We need one, right? By contract,
yeah,
we have to have one.
Of course. I'm a New Yorker, so I'm always partial to the New Yorkers.
And the Blast have a 2-0 lead now as William Vanzello will settle.
I love the breakout there by John Orlando. He took two Orlando players with him, which then obviously if they follow you, it's just much easier to get the ball out.
And the ball will go out to the front row of the seats, and the Blast will have a kick in. That goal scored at the 3:47 mark of the second quarter. Galvis from Donatelli. And the Blast are up 2-0. There's Vinny Dantas, missed the game in Harrisburg last week with injury. Steps on the last time he played on this field. 5 goals against Kansas City. 5 goals for Vinny Dantas. His best game offensively as a Blast player.
Blast is really having a tough time organizing themselves defensively on goal kicks, which is really unusual. That's about 2 or 3 times where they're looking around and there's a guy wide open.
That's something that I'm sure Coach Danny Kelly had hoped had sorted itself out by now.
No, listen, that's something they go over all the time. So that's something the guys just have to take care of.
And this will be a dangerous foul as Freitas earns it from Mello. This will be a really, well, actually it'll be pushed back a little bit to the corner.
Yeah, it's a corner kick basically.
And William will get a delay of game warning there as he held on to the ball too long, letting the defense try and reset. Good job by the official there. You can hold it for 1 count. The second time he has to ask for it, it's a little too much. Chip over, but Raley there to make the block.
Great job by Raley getting out and not turning his body, staying square so if it hits him, it bounces out. Doesn't have the chance to skip off and go in the net.
In other MASL action, the Eastern Division, there's a Utica City Mississauga game going on in Mississauga right now. Of course, Mississauga is Gerson with an open space, unable to finish.
That's a tough touch from Hoxie there. He kind of had control of the ball there, and his first touch really let him down.
See Gerson miss the net from that space very often. We mentioned a prolific goal scorer, 161 goals in only 5 years in the MASL.
Yeah, we were talking about it early, Andrew, but very interesting. You would figure somebody who's such a prolific goal scorer wouldn't be on 4 teams in 5 years. So obviously there's got to be something, there's some disconnect there when you're on, so many teams in such a short period of time when you're that kind of goal scorer.
Started out in Seattle. Of course, that franchise troubled a little bit as Vanzello makes a save with his feet. Was traded to St. Louis, and then St. Louis to Cedar Rapids, and of course Cedar Rapids to Orlando. That's kind of a franchise relocation. But yeah, absolutely. Guy's a fantastic player, but we saw the last time he played here in Baltimore has some trouble emotionally controlling himself occasionally.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Juan's first touch let him down. He had Donatelli getting back post for a tap-in, kind of handcuffed himself with the first touch and then saw Donatelli late.
See the restart here. Dos Santos, De Oliveira, Mello, John Orlando join the goal scorer Juan Galvis out on the field for the Blast. Rojas will take down John Orlando. Foul.
Good battle between those two.
That's a Yep, I thought it was going clearly out of bounds. It must have hit the glass and kicked back out as Schmerman knocked it out, and that'll be a restart at the top of the arc.
Yeah, Mello was definitely looking for someone to pop up down low there.
Oh, I guess they called it yellow line before it went out.
I think it was, yeah.
Okay, so from the yellow line, Mello with Dos Santos wide. He sends it over to Dos Santos. Dos Santos down to Orlando. Orlando's got space. Tries to go near side, and House makes the save, but earns a corner kick for the Blast. And Orlando puts it down to Mello. He'll run across. Mello over top. De Oliveira spelled behind. Galvis makes the cut. Oliveira with space, and he sneaks it through. Elton De Oliveira with the feed from Mello. And the Blast lead 3-0.
Great shot. Kept it hard and low. Adriano's having a little bit of a discussion with John Orlando because on that previous set piece, they ran it perfect. Got the ball down to Orlando down low. Wow, what a great strike.
Went through 4 defenders there. There's 4 Orlando defenders in a line, and he just found the only space to beat Greg House near side on the left. And a great goal from Elton De Oliveira, and the Blast are up 3-0.
Really, really bad body language by Orlando coming off the field there. You want to see them be a little bit angry with a little energy there. They're coming off almost dejected. If you're the Blast, you kind of want to take advantage of that body language and try to get another one here as quick as you can.
Orlando coming off a tough homestand. They went 1-1. They really needed to win the game against Kansas City and lost 9-7. There's another shot from House. Vanzella's had to make 2 saves on those.
I tell you what, House has got a really nice strike for a keeper.
Well, he's tested Vanzella twice. Nascimento steps
They
on.
have numbers here. They have numbers here. Can they connect?
Dantas wins the ball in the corner, tries to send it through. Unable to do so. And here's how quickly it can change. Well, never mind. Orlando brings it back out. I was going to say Orlando had a chance, but they decided to settle back.
Somebody's got to tell Thiago he doesn't have to beat the same player 5 times.
Well, and he's an interesting player as he was Rookie of the Year for Harrisburg. He made the all-rookie team in Harrisburg. And then 2 years later, as Pat Healy and the new team, the new face of that franchise steps in, he gets traded 3 games into the season to this Orlando team for Dylan Hundow. And he's found a home here in Florida, or in Orlando rather, but interesting that he got traded so early in the Healy regime.
God, listen, the kid's a talent. You can tell. Thiago can play.
There's
good
a
shot.
shot and a score from Orlando as Rojas buries it in the top right-hand corner. And there is life from Orlando after that body language. And you talked about it, Lee. When you have a team on the ropes, you got to put them down. And the Blast lacking that killer instinct can allow Orlando to stick around.
You know, that was a good turn and a really quick release. You got to give him credit here. Just took a half turn there, and it's not much you can do about that. That's a really nice turn and a nice strike. Got to give credit where credit's due.
19th goal on the season for Orlando Rojas. That'll be unassisted officially. And 6:33 the time on the goal. And it is 3-1 Baltimore.
It's interesting. It's a little darker down by William than it is on the other side of the field right now.
We've had this issue several times on and off here, and it's a lighting control issue, and I think it depends on who's working the arena that day. I really do. We've seen that effect as William will have all kinds of space, trapped by midfield, but plenty of room, and he'll dump down in the corner to Andrew Hoxie. Nascimento sends it back to Hoxie. Hoxie has room. Double team comes. Can he get it through? He does. Melo's got room. Sends it to Nascimento. Nascimento is knocked down in front.
Yeah, but when the double team's happening down low, Andrew, there's no one to play the ball to.
You got to make the cuts there.
Yeah, he got lucky to get that one through. Good job by Melo shielding.
How about that steal from Melo, and then he shields it to draw the foul. Naranjo gets up the foul. John Orlando will push. Sends it back to Dos Santos. Dos Santos, Diesel, Orlando, Donatelli. Join Andrew Hoxie. Diesel coming like a freight train down that corner.
Yeah, he got put in a tough situation there. He did well to dig that one out.
I'll tell you one thing. If he's running full speed at me in the corner, I'm not standing in front of him.
Yeah, Mike's not going to back down for sure.
There's Dos Santos with some space, and he takes a shot just a little high.
You know, that wasn't a shot. He was waving to Donatelli. He was trying to hit that back post.
Trying to send it down as a pass?
Yeah.
All right, well, that takes us to the official timeout. It's 6:43 left in the second quarter. The Blast 3, the SeaWolves 1. You're watching Blast Soccer on MASL.tv. right, we're back here. Blast lead 3-1 over the Orlando SeaWolves. Goals from Donatelli, Galvas, and De Oliveira for the Blast. Rojas scored for Orlando. And Lee, I got to tell you, Tony Donatelli scored that first goal tonight. You probably don't know this. He's now only one behind you on the Blast all-time scoring list, chasing you and Billy Ronson for 12th on the all-time scoring list. So might see some history made here tonight if Donatelli notches another goal.
I would like him to notch another 2 or 3. It would be good. It would be good for the Blast. Tony's a good guy.
House settles it. He's had to play the ball a lot with his feet tonight, and Jamie Thomas forces a tough pass, and Galvez again getting a ton of minutes here early on and capitalizing on it. He loses pressure though. Rojas with a nice distribution. Raley had him posted, but a good job sending it over.
Yeah, Rarely got he got locked up there. Got a little bit fortunate. Once you get locked behind a forward like that, you're in trouble.
Whoa, look at that save by House as Galvez was trying to send it across to Donatelli. It wasn't necessarily a shot, but House forced to make a save. And Galvez making a lot of his opportunities so far tonight.
He did that. I kind of wish he would have unleashed that, though. I thought he's going to hit a one-time shot there. Looks like he's a little bit gassed going off for a sub here, so that may have been a reason he didn't shoot.
That's a great save on a pass. You don't see that too often. So a little surprised early on in the pace of the game, just because the last time these teams played together, and then coming back to the Cedar Rapids Blast games, the last 5 games these teams have played against each other, they've averaged 6 penalties a game. And of the 17 penalties in the last 4 games, 11 of them came from Cedar Rapids. So we're expecting to see a little more fireworks from this game, but so far a pretty evenly played game. You know, Dos Santos with a little bit of barking, but not much on either side.
Yeah, we got a little bit fortunate there. Orlando had a good opportunity in front of the goal and just wasn't able to capitalize. I wasn't sure who played the ball off the boards to himself, but he did a great job.
2-on-1, Dantas and De Oliveira. Dantas behind De Oliveira, and that stalls the offense. They'll reset. De Oliveira comes off. John Orlando will control on the boards. He's got Vinny Dantas posted up in front. Orlando creates some space, but trips. Good job by Cruz to win that battle. Raley will send it back to Mello. Mello over to Nascimento. Nascimento breaks down his defender, realizes he doesn't have it, and sends it back to Mello. Mello will send it across to Orlando, and now back to Mello. Mello's got space. He's got Dantas in the middle. Unable to find him. Dos Santos with room, but he skies it.
Yeah, Adriano's leaning back, and he's shooting there. Vinny is kind of kicking himself for not executing on that 2v1, playing it to the back foot, which took the advantage away.
He had Elton on the break, unable to find him. The Blast had a couple opportunities that series, but unable to capitalize. Orlando sends it down. Moda down there low. Mello wins it. Back to Vanzella. Vanzella will send it over to John Orlando, who trips over the ball. Diesel back to Vanzella. Vanzella, nice job of keeping it under 3 lines. Orlando has some room. Nifty touch to create space. Sends it to the middle. Almost deflected by Sherman, but House picks it up. And then House will try and chuck it down. Surprised Orlando is not making a shift here, a change here, as Mello gets absolutely wrecked into the boards. Can't see the Orlando player that did that down
He's
there.
changing as we speak, I think. But what a great run by John. He started coming out here to his left and then made a sharp turn to his right, and William found him on that turn.
Mello crosses the yellow line. Sends it over to Hoxie. Hoxie has some room. And a shot, no, just off the far post. Hoxie looking to keep the offensive hot streak going. We mentioned 3 goals against Harrisburg, his breakout game of the year, as he started that game with Vinny Dantas out with an injury, and he made the most of his opportunity. And we'll see if he can keep that going.
Yeah, Hoxie's having a good couple shifts here.
There's a send across to Donatelli, and oh man, there it was. That was the chance. I thought we were going to see the tie.
The Blast is putting a lot of pressure on here. It would be great for them to get one here before half.
Ball down low to Gerson. A quiet first half for Gerson so far.
Once again, a shot from midfield. Williams kind of pairing wide. I think he shaking his head, thinking he maybe should have caught that one.
Blast playing a high zone defense with man-to-man behind. Rojas wearing the captain's armband. He'll come across with Donatelli, matching him with the captain's armband. Juan Pereira sends the pass back. Rojas and House playing catch with each other. Here comes House again. Tiago steps on. He's had a couple good plays, and Gordy Gerson will try and send it through to the box. And look at that save by Vanzella. There was Gerson with some creativity, creating that opportunity. He sends it down to Rojas. Rojas tries to kip it over Vanzella, but Vanzella equal.
Yeah, Tony does a good job there. That was a good hard run in the box, and he got beat a little bit, but he's smart enough to get his body on his player, knocking him around, so he wasn't able to get a clean shot, and Williams standing up does a good job to make a save there.
Well, we didn't mention it, but the stats from the first half, is that be a three-line pass? Mistake by the Blast, but we didn't mention it, but the official shots on goal from the first quarter, 11 for Orlando, only 4 for Baltimore. So 1-0 lead, but outshot 11-4 in the first quarter. And that was that theory of just chucking it in deep if you're Orlando. Rojas with a shot, and it's high.
Yeah, that's not surprising. Like I said, they took probably a half a dozen shots from beyond midfield. So if you're the Blast and you're being outshot, but that's where their shots are coming from, you're also not really too worried about that.
Yeah, give that up, absolutely,
Yeah.
especially the goaltender of William Vanzella's quality. Update in Mississauga as Utica City has now gone up 2-0 over Mississauga. Of course, the Blast and Utica City tied in first place, 13-6 in the Eastern Division. Looks like if both teams take care of business, it's setting up for a game in Utica City for the division championship. Although at this point, that's largely ceremonial as the playoffs have been set, the games have been set, so the seedings won't determine who hosts which game. The Blast will host on the Saturday before Easter, and Utica City will host game 2, and if necessary, game 3 on the Monday after Easter. Vinny Dantas with a shot.
Oh, great job by Vinny. He wound up to shoot the ball. Defender got in his way, stepped on it, rolled it around the defender, took another shot. Fantastic job.
Nice job by Raley to send him step in front. Diesel controls it, and Raley will get an opportunity. John Orlando's got a ton of room on the far side, and he gets a little too creative there.
His touches just kind of let him down this half. You know, he touched that ball a little bit too far in front of him and then had to reach out for it and ended up tripping over it.
Gerson with a bad first touch, and he loses it to Dantas. Dantas bodies him away. Rojas with some space, and Vanzella out in no man's land, but good job by Raley to come back out.
Yeah, Raley does a really good job of kind of getting his body in front of the ball, recognizing that he had to kind of dive there. Sloppy turnovers. It's been a very sloppy first half.
23 seconds left in the half. Blast lead 3-1. Lee heading down now to do the halftime interview with David Bascom. As Andrew Hoxie will get the ball down low, settles, shot, and it's just up. Andrew looked for a deflection. House with the distribution, 17.5 left. He sends it down, but William Vanzella steps in front. 10 seconds left. Thomas with some space, but he loses the ball down low in the corner, and he'll be called for the foul. Cruz with the run, had some space. Time will expire as William Vanzella equal to the task as the time came down. The Blast up 3-1 on the Orlando SeaWolves. Lee Chantre is heading down to the field. He'll meet with Coach David Bascom, talk about the first half and what he saw. But for the Blast, after being outshot 11-4 in the first quarter, the stats evened out a little bit in the second quarter. And we'll see the shots on goal coming out. Actually, they had 23 shots on goal. Orlando, 23 shots on goal, and the Blast had 5. So that's 9 shots on goal for the Blast in the first half, and 23 for Orlando. Let's head down to the field where Lee Chantre is down with David Bascom. David, Lee, get in position. Hold on. There we go. All right, here we go. Lee,
So
you're good to go.
Dave, a little bit of an up and down first half. What do you think happened? What do you think needs to get better?
Yeah, you know, I think one of the things is that we have to be patient. Yeah, I mean, once we're controlling the tempo of the game, what's happening is that we're getting impatient because it's like, okay, we see something, okay, let's just go forward, right? We have to continue to control the tempo because what's happening is that rhythm, you know, runs a lot of offense. And especially on this small field, we can't afford to play up and down. Yeah, it's not gonna, you know, it's not gonna work for us. You know, they're just gonna run, they're gonna continue to run, and we gotta limit our mistakes.
Now, I know one of the emphasis that you and Danny continue to have on the boys and the success of your offense is your movement. What do you think needs to be better with your movement?
Yeah, you know, it's definitely got to be better movement. A lot of times we're looking flat, and I tell you one of the biggest things is that even when we do have some movement, we're missing that final execution ball. It's kind of like that execution ball is a little slow, so the sharpness in the thought process is not seen that early enough, and we're finding ourselves holding the ball at the back too long because we're moving slow.
Absolutely. All right, Dave. Well, good. Have a great second half. Good luck.
All right, thanks.
There's Lee making me look insignificant. I guess my job's no longer needed. Good job, Lee, on that interview. And we'll head to halftime. 3-1 blast. You're watching MASL Soccer on MASL.TV.
The story is changing. The words ever evolving. Bolder, braver. We are architects of opportunity, and what we're building is more than buildings. It's pride. College is capable of being more, and every day we're proving it. Welcome to the new TU.
No, 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 no.
Jack, can I talk to you? I think you need one of these. You're acting like a kid.
Yes, yes, yes.
Have a blast and score big at Antwerpen Automotive. Jack is saying yes to every deal on all new and pre-owned vehicles, plus discounts up to $15,000 and no payments for 3 months. Now at all 10 Antwerpen locations.
Jack says yes.
Stepping into the unknown, it can be difficult to find the way. But with the compassion and strength of a name and the security of the cross and shield, obstacles become openings. As we have for more than 75 years, we'll continue to light the way, using our knowledge to create new healthcare solutions, giving you the power to shine forward to whatever awaits tomorrow. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield. Live fearless.
And we're back with the second half as we see the kickoff. Extra long halftime as the celebrity soccer game took a little bit. It's TV beat radio 2-1. And here we see the second half underway as the Baltimore Blast lead the Orlando SeaWolves 3-1. We didn't get a chance to see the highlights, but the Blast 3 goals. Donatelli, Galvis, and De Oliveira. Rojas scored 1 for Orlando at the end of the second quarter. And Gordy Gerson down on the ground holding his, looks like his left eye. And the trainer will come out. Gerson went down in a heap. Not sure, I didn't see what happened there. Diesel's over the ball. Looks like the Blast had possession.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there either, but the ref kind of took a look. He thought he saw something, and anytime it's with the head, they're going to err on the side of caution.
Absolutely. And gives us a chance here to reset. Talk about the players on the field. Diesel, Donatelli, Jamie Thomas, Adriano Dos Santos, and Vinny Dantas get the second half start for the Blast. Hoffman, Rojas, Schmerman, and I'm sorry, Tiago, and looks like Gerson down on the ground there, also on the field.
Well, I think David hit the nail on the head at the halftime show, or halftime talk. You know, they were just a bit off, whether it was too slow making that final pass or recognizing that final pass, or the final pass just being off a little bit. You know, as we mentioned in the first half, there were a number of 2-on-1, 3v2s that they either didn't recognize the player quick enough, or they just, that final ball wasn't sharp enough.
Well, Lee, let's talk about this. Are you trying to take my job down there?
Absolutely.
It was a great halftime interview. You know, is this? Are you coming for the halftime interview gig? You want to get back down on the turf?
Absolutely not. I took all kinds of slack while I was down there in 2 seconds. I think Danny almost threw some water on me while he was laughing at me.
There you go. And unfortunately, Gerson's still down on the ground. The trainer is calling, and it looks like they're going to call out a second trainer from the Blast side to deal with this. As Gerson down on the ground, not sure. We see Heather, the Blast athletic trainer, making her way out on the field.
They look like they're pointing for the dock. Because Adriano saw Heather coming out, and he's still pointing to the bench. So he wanted something more than Heather there. I don't know if he was looking for Doc or not.
Well, we're going to step aside here. 14:25 left in the third quarter. Gordy Gerson down on the field. We'll update his condition when we come back. You're watching Blast Soccer on MASL.TV. All right, and we're back as Gordy Gerson steps off the field, and he is walking very gingerly, looks dizzy. If I can judge from up here and diagnose, as he reaches up to his eye, unsteady on his feet. You hate to see that. One of the best goal scorers in the league, and he just looks wobbly.
Yeah, listen, you never want to see a player get injured, and that shows the professionalism and care that these guys have for one another. As much as Adriano was getting into it with some of those guys, he's the first one calling over to make sure that somebody's taking care of them.
Gerson doesn't go to the bench. He'll step over in the corner and be evaluated by the doctors with a head injury. You would expect, or what seems to be a head injury, you would expect him to miss some time. Rojas will send it back to Vanzella, and Vanzella with a little clap for the sportsmanship, and we are back underway. Dantas down low, and Huffman with the foul. Huffman disagrees. I'm shocked. Huffman's never disagreed with anything in this league, ever.
Yeah, Vinny's taking a little bit of a beating today. He's been on the ground a little bit more than normal. Usually, as thick as he is, he's kind of dishing out more than he takes.
Interesting when you see goal scorers like Dantas and Gerson not on the tally sheet in the first half on a field this size. Kind of surprising based on what we thought we'd see. Vinny, of course, didn't play in the first game between these two teams. A 4-1 Blast win back in December. And the Blast went to Orlando and won the first matchup of these franchises.
Vinny was unfortunate not to get another foul right there. I mean, that's two hands in the back. Hoffman is just shoving him when he's trying to shield. And I know that Vinny does a good job of not flopping, but the refs can't not call the foul because Vinny's not flopping.
He's holding his back there. He seems to be in a little bit of discomfort from taking that shove. That's where Vinny's size is a disadvantage, right? A smaller man flies there. Because he's so big and so strong, it doesn't look like it's a blow to him, whereas he's taking some serious punishment.
Yeah, that one, I mean, that's just two hands. Oh, what a
goal.
What a goal. You could see it when he hit it. What vision. What a great goal. Adriano, what a ball, and what a great job of looking over his shoulder and striking it on the half turn.
Well, House gets caught sneaking out, and Adriano chips it back over with his shoulder. Beautiful play. Sends it back out to Vinny Dantas, and Vinny had no doubt, and neither did you, Lee, as you saw it coming all the way from midfield as we see the fans up there in the crowd. He was pointing up there, and he scores his first goal right after we call out that he hadn't scored a goal.
Wow.
And then we'll see the replay come up here. Let's see if it starts with Dos Santos' shoulder. Well, looks like we're having some technical difficulties. Oh, here we go. Nope, maybe, possibly. Could happen. No. Well, that's all right. You saw it live. The Blast up 4-1, 13-17. Yeah, let's see it. Here it is. We see the shoulder from Dos Santos, and Vinny, no hesitation there as he turns, spins, and puts it in the back of the net. That's just a beautiful goal.
That could be an awareness video for forwards looking over their shoulder and knowing where they are.
Orlando's probably taken 5 or 6 shots from behind the yellow line. And how about the Blast being the one to capitalize on the only midfield shot?
That is very true. I think Orlando's had 23 shots in the first half, and about 12 of them were over midfield. If you coded this game, they'd have more shots over midfield than in front of midfield.
Well, you mentioned that was part of the strategy.
I don't know if it was. It just sure seems like it.
Dos Santos picks up his second assist on the goal from Dantas.
Great work. Unfortunate not to get a goal there off some great defensive work.
Galvis almost picked up his second goal as he gets shoved from behind, Cruz, but he doesn't give up. He's doing that lunging thing again. You're seeing that. He's not following through defensively with his feet. And that's interesting.
He's a young player, so he's kind of, listen, defense is the hardest thing to learn indoor. And when you learn it indoor, you become such a better player all around, indoor and outdoor.
Mello with the spin, has room, creates it, draws the foul. Could have been a card there as he was going to create separation, and he's down on the ground. And look who's back out on the field, Gordy Gerson.
Yeah.
Back out on the field, recovered quickly. He was pointing to his eye there, saying, you didn't call the foul on me. But Mello, he wants the card there as he had a clear shot at the goal and was taken down.
You know, he's got a bit of an argument. I mean, he's kind of wide open looking for a shot.
Juwan unable to get a good foot on it as Mello comes. Gerson's got a break. And Raley,
That's
that'll
2 minutes. That's a really
There it
silly
is, yeah.
foul.
And-
You know, as much as Melo's upset, you can't just grab someone.
And it is, I mean, that's a blue card, just like the
Yes.
foul on the other side was a blue card. And Melo's point is, if you're going to call it one way, call it the other. But frankly, both of them should have been blue cards.
Yeah, Melo's yelling it's the same thing, and absolutely, I think it is similar. It's not as blatant.
Right. No, I would
Right.
agree with that, but I think both should have been cards. But one called, and the Blast will go down on the power play. And it's one thing that Orlando's done very well this year. It's the power play, 47%, compared to 47% of the power play opportunities. They've done very well that offensively. Thiago, Cruz, Gerson, a shot across, blocked away by Vanzella. And now a foul as Melo goes down again, and no blue card again. Melo's gotten wrecked from behind twice now, no card, and now Melo is holding his head. Donatelli walks over and wants to know what's going to take for the Blast to get a card.
I got a feeling Melo is on the ground just trying to make a point. I think he's okay. I think he's going to be up and fine here in a second. Not necessarily. Yeah, see,
Yeah,
I'm not.
yeah.
I'm not necessarily sure it was a blue card. It was obviously a foul.
Uh-huh.
He's trying to make his point from his previous foul.
Can you see in the screen? I'm not sure if we can. There's a fan there, and this very young lady wearing a jersey has got a blue card in her hand. Do you see her? Right around midfield,
yeah.
she's holding a blue card up for the official. You can see her right in the back of the screen, right behind it. She's holding it up. I love it.
Listen, that's one of our most loyal fans. She's been a Blast fan way before I started playing for the Blast. Fantastic.
Oh, man, look at
you
that.
got-
That's fantastic.
Gotta love the enthusiasm.
Donatelli will dump it down low to Thomas. 1 minute and 50 seconds left on the penalty. Raley in the box. The Blast power play killing our team on the field. They've killed at a 46% rate. Thomas, Donatelli, Diesel, and Dos Santos standing in front of William Vanzella. Rojas sends it over. Thiago at the top of the box.
Well, they're trying to force it to the left here.
Oh, Gerson actually knocks it away there. I think if he had let it go, it would have been a goal, but Gerson tried to redirect it, and he knocks it wide. Yeah, bit of a mistake there from the goal scorer, Gordy Golson.
Yeah, that would have been close, though. Listen, as a goal scorer, if there's a possibility of it not going in, you're looking to try to tap it in. It was unfortunate that, for him, it was unfortunate it didn't go in. But the Blast is doing a good job here.
Thiago has to retreat past midfield. Sends it down to Cruz. Cruz and Thomas come together. No foul call. Dos Santos will have a run. The Blast have 3-on-2. Dos Santos forces the ball down in the corner. Thomas has some room. And it'll be, there you go. House kicks it out of bounds, and that'll be a restart at the top of the arc for the Blast.
Yeah.
Great job.
Adriano's kicking himself a little bit. Just put his hands above his head. You got to connect that pass. You're on a man down, 3 against 1 counterattack. You got to connect.
Donatelli and Melo, and you wonder, do you pull it back out and send it back out, or do you take a shot? They do take a shot into the wall, and Gerson cheering a deflection there. Not interesting tactic from him. De Oliveira will try and draw some time. Thiago crossing the yellow line, unable to get across. Good job by Elton to draw time. That's Alvarez, sends it across. Cruz steps on. Gerson down low, chips it back out to Rojas.
Great job by Tony. Great awareness. A lot of guys would have just tried to head that out.
William, good job walking the fine line between keeping it in and outside the box. Melo goes down again. Nascimento and Melo trying to hit the pressure high. Freitas sends it over to Cruz. Cruz down low. He's got space, takes a shot right at William Vanzella. Easy save for Vanzella. Freitas tries to settle, and Raley's in. The penalty is killed, and the Blast have a break. 1v2. Raley's got some room, and he just dribbles it down in the corner. Will send it across, and House settles. So a great penalty kill for the Blast, the first penalty of the game, and the Blast kill it. William Vanzella deflects the shot from Gerson over the net. And that'll be a corner kick. Gerson trying to quick restart, but Nascimento's down on the ground. I believe the play will be stopped.
Is he down out of exhaustion, or is he down from getting hit? I didn't see what happened.
Well, He's got his jersey over his mouth, holding it. Gerson apologized, reached over and clapped. Didn't realize that Nascimento was down as he tried a quick restart. All right, so here we are, third quarter. The Blast up 4-1 on the SeaWolves. The SeaWolves fighting for their playoff lives. 2 games in the win column, 1 game in the standings behind Kansas City and St. Louis for the second spot in the South Central Division. The Blast tied with the first place in the Eastern Division, 13-6, identical records with Utica City. Utica City holds a 4-0 lead over Mississauga. That game, the second half just started. As we see Nascimento walks off, limping just slightly. Interesting if we see him come back as Gerson recovered quickly from his head injury and steps over top the ball. Pereira, Dantas, Donatelli, and Raley join Mike Diesel. Alvarez, Rojas, Huffman, and Schmerminator join Gerson. Donatelli with a break. Has room. Settles on his left foot, takes a shot, and House with a save, but kicks it up into the crowd. And Donatelli will have a corner kick.
Gerson does the Blast a favor there, huh? Just shooting the ball into the wall on a free kick.
Raley with a shot and a score! Jeremy Raley was standing behind the decoy runner, and Donatelli with another assist off a restart.
So not only is it a decoy runner, but the runner runs in the path of the player who's supposed to come out and close Raley, so it gives him that extra half a second here.
And Dantas draws the defense, and Raley picks up his second goal of the year. He's played in 69 games in his career, had 13 career goals so far this year, 1 goal and 3 assists, and now 2 goals for Jeremy Raley.
You know, I take that back. The runner didn't run. They just actually were out of shape. It was a good dummy run, but Orlando was just out of shape there defensively. 2 guys went to the ball.
Donatelli picks up the assist, and Raley with his second goal of the year. Vanzella has some room to throw to John Orlando, but instead goes long to Vinny Dantas. Dantas with a turn. He's got Thiago, and House settles it.
Bit of a mistake there by Shim trying to run and body Donatelli off, and Donatelli just rolled him, and he was fortunate Donatelli didn't get that ball. It's bad defending.
Orlando with a bad turnover, but William Vanzella wins it back with his feet, sends it across. Look at this ball from Vinny Dantas to De Oliveira. De Oliveira with a shot. House with a beautiful save off the top of his left foot there.
Great strength by Oliveiro. Fantastic. Just gave him a little nudge and then was able to get that shot off. But what a creative ball by Vinny.
And here we see Sam Guernsey getting one of his first shifts tonight. Of course, Sam Guernsey came over from Cedar Rapids, teammates with many of the guys on the field. And he steps home with some fresh legs in the second half. We'll see him defensively as the Blast have a 5-1 lead against most of his former teammates.
John Orlando needs to get a sub here. He's got weary legs.
He looks gassed as he's run around.
He does look gassed.
Dos Santos back up high. We've seen that look several times from the Blast in the second half now. A mid-season switch.
He's trying to get off the field. I saw Orlando calling for a sub here.
And Rojas has got to realize that as he's got John Orlando exposed. He's got some space, but he's unable to do anything with it in Orlando.
That's just not recognizing the fact that the guy you're playing is tired. Right now, he should be taking him for a run, checking away, checking back, making his legs work.
Cruz to Rojas. Orlando's going to have to make a break here as he's got space. Dos Santos, can he get him across? And John just couldn't get through. About a half a step too short. And then John still back on the ball. Man, he is tired. He's going to send it like he was either going to get a foul or he was going to lay down.
He could not fall fast enough there. He's got rubber legs. There he goes.
He's going to step right off.
Yeah.
Mello, Guernsey, Dos Santos, and Hoxie. John's off, and Jamie Thomas will come on.
Jamie's been impressive this season. He does a lot of work that goes unnoticed, but his ability to get up and down the field has been just a blessing for the Blast.
Well, the young player only in his third season, career highs in goals with 7, career high assists with 4, and he's also got his career high in penalty minutes with 4. As Thomas almost on cue there, tries to get a goal for Lee, but unable to do so. The ball kick up to Gerson, and look at Donatelli come over top as Gerson was fitting to cycle kick that.
Yeah, Williams a little slow off his line there. I thought when the ball was in the air that long, he was going to come and grab it, and Donatelli does a great job of getting back.
Ball headed around, and that'll be the officials' timeout as it heads over. It'll be a restart just in front of the yellow line for Orlando when we come back. 6:02 left in the third quarter. Blast leading 5-1. You're watching Blast Soccer on MASL.TV.
Every day, all across Maryland, we help employers keep workers safe from accidents and injuries. We're Chesapeake Employers Insurance Company. At Chesapeake Employers, workers' compensation insurance and workplace safety have been our mission and passion for 100 years, and will be for 100 more. We help protect Maryland workers because
at the end of every workday, someone's waiting for your safe return.
Connect with your local agent or visit us online.
When it comes to getting back in the game, there's only one team to turn to. The team more high school, collegiate, and professional athletes train and recover with. That team is MedStar Sports Medicine. For more than 30 years, MedStar has served as a leader in the diagnosis, treatment, and rehabilitation of orthopedic and sports-related injuries. Ranked among the top programs in the Maryland and Washington regions, we offer rapid access to athletes of all levels. Let the pros who treat the pros treat you. MedStar Sports Medicine.
And then we're back as we see Huffman takes the shot off of Andrew Hoxie, deflects back into the crowd. Now Freitas will preside with Donatelli in a one-man wall. Blaster leading 5-1 in the third quarter. Just under 6 minutes left in the third quarter. Gerson now matched up on Raley. He's got a lot of room. He'll turn. Raley wins that, and there you can see Gerson unhappy, turns and screams at the officials. Hoxie, he still hasn't gotten back on defense yet. Hoxie unable to win. Now Raley comes down along the boards. Raley wins the ball through, sends it to Thomas. Hoxie had space. Hoxie was screaming for the ball down low, and then Diesel tries to find him, and that'll be a top-of-the-arc restart.
I tell you, Gerson did a great job of holding that ball up, and Rarely did a fantastic job of not letting him turn. But even more importantly, every Blast player stayed with their runners. He could not lay it off to anyone, which kind of forced him to turn and try to take a bad shot there. But the Blast did a good job because 3 Orlando players made runs off of Gerson, and the Blast was in good position. And that's when you're going to go for a championship run, those are the important things. Those little things like that make a huge difference.
Dos Santos and Mello look to make it 3 restart goals for the Blast. Dos Santos over top. Mello sends it to Donatelli. He's done it once. He sends it to Dantas, but Dantas sends it right across. Dos Santos had his hands up. He knew he missed the opportunity. Dantas on Huffman down low. The big cast from the big forward from Brazil, 6'1". Mello back to Donatelli. Donatelli finds that matchup again. Dantas and Huffman battling down low. Huffman's done a good job on the forward.
Adriano's got to move. So when Vinny's getting double down there, he's got to create some movement in order to pull the double team off or to get the ball. He just can't stand as an option down the line, especially when they're cutting that line off.
Dos Santos blows by Freitas. Gets the ball to Mello. Mello has some space. Gerson absolutely takes down Mello. And that's the 4th or 5th time Mello's been spilled. No call. Rojas works it back out to Huffman. Huffman and Hoxie. Hoxie with some good pressure, and they're going to call that foul on Hoxie. And Mello is not happy.
I tell you, the Blast has been, I don't want to jinx them, but they've been pretty solid on restarts today. Orlando's helped them out shooting the ball into the wall about 4 times.
Distribution from Vanzella out to Pereira. Pereira wins the ball down low. Fights through 3 players, and then Gerson back down on the field again. He's limping, but stands up. Mello will come across the yellow line, send it back out to Dos Santos. And Gerson is healthy again.
Juan has not seemed as active as he normally is.
I was just thinking the exact same thing. He's a little slow. And now Juan Pereira is going to get a blue card for a trip on Gerson, and Gerson's back down again.
That's just silly. He's wildly swinging at the ball. I don't honestly know if he got Gerson, but you're just asking.
You're putting yourself in that position.
Of course.
No, I agree with you 100%. I don't think he got him with anywhere near the contact.
He has not.
I think we'll see Gerson get up and run pretty quickly, as he's done all game. But that being said, you're absolutely right. Juwan's got to be smarter than that, as Gerson magically healed. And the Blast will be on their Orlando will be on their second power play. The Blast killed the first one. Mello's still arguing his case out there.
He's not helping.
And now he's going to get a yellow.
He's not helping himself right now. He's not helping the team.
Well, and he's brought up an interesting point. If you look at his jersey's absolutely shredded on the top.
You know what? That point,
ripped across, but
that point is moot at this point. And I know. Listen, I used to do it all the time. Didn't work when I did it. It's not going to work when he's doing it.
Do as I say, not as I did, Lee.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, the Blast down the power play, and Mello will be in the box for 5 minutes.
So now not only are they missing someone who they normally have on the man-down situation, but obviously one of their more offensive talents as well for 5 minutes.
Jamie Thomas will step on. He does well against Gerson. Nope, I'm sorry. That was Alvarez. The blonde hair threw me off. Thomas down low. He wins the ball, and he gets taken down by Tiago. And that was the hooking call from the official.
Once again, the energy that he brings is number one, I think it's contagious to his team. Number two, it's just so bothersome to the other team.
Jamie Thomas has looked more like Juwan Pereira than Juwan Pereira has looked like Juwan Pereira today.
Yeah, Juwan's just been off a little bit. You know, you can tell with his body language and the amount of work. He's usually a workhorse. He's just been a little bit lethargic today.
He had dealt with some health injuries early on. The foot injury slowed him down, missed several games. There's a shot and a save from Vanzella. That might be one for the save of the game as Vanzella pushes it up over top the net. 1:25 left on the penalty to Pereira. Last lead 5-1, 3:18 left in the third quarter. Corner kick for Orlando. Nobody's over there. Here comes Thiago Freitas to preside over top. Thomas in a one-man wall.
They're going to play this over the top.
There's Alvarez with a shot on the volley, but he skies it.
You know what? You'll take that if you're the Blast. Look, it was a good ball. It was a good opportunity, but you're down a man. You got to take those balls away in the middle, force them out wide. It was a nice ball over the top, but great job by the Blast taking the center of the box away.
So right now, as the statistics as they stand, Orlando's outshot the Blast 28-17. Of the 28 shots, how many of them have come outside the three-point line? Half?
In the first half, I would say probably a dozen over the game, maybe.
Almost half the shots from long range. And they haven't connected.
Yeah, you know, I would love to know what their thought process was there. I mean, really, did they see something on the video? Because some keepers are weaker from a distance. You know, they don't see the ball as well, and they're good reaction saves.
And it could be a strategy for the size of the field, too, right? Deflections, there's a lot packed in there. Do you think you don't get enough room as you try and send it across? Alvarez presides over top. He beats Vanzella, but it goes to the wall. Donatelli will clear down to the corner. 38 seconds left on the penalty to Pereira. The Blast down a man, have already killed one penalty. Coming into the game, Orlando had converted 47% of their power plays. The Blast had killed 46%. 25 seconds on the restart. Rojas sends it over to Alvarez. Vanzella spread out. Good job by Thomas to get down low. He forces Alvarez to pull it back across, use his left foot, and he's unable to finish. And Vanzella will get a restart.
Great job by William initially coming out to kind of have, you know, the forward take another touch. And then Thomas, once again, work rate, getting back, sliding, making him make another move.
Guernsey going down in the corner to try and win that from Vanzella, unable to do so. He'll match up against Alvarez. Alvarez sends it back to Cruz. Cruz and Alvarez playing the two-man game as Thiago steps on. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, the shot across, Rojas. The teams are at even strength, but another late opportunity is Juan Pereira now will have an offensive break as he and Thiago one-on-one, and Juan gets his pocket picked. Good job by Thiago to win that ball. And the Blast caught in a change. Dantas late coming on. Here he comes, and the Blast back at even strength, even with Mello in the box for another 2:42. Juan with a win, and there's some enthusiasm, momentum from him.
Yeah, what a fantastic save from William, just as the penalty is expiring.
Well, we've seen that happen a couple times for the Blast so far this year, where they've given up that goal 1 or 2 seconds after the penalty's been killed. Dos Santos tries to send it through, a little cheeky move there as he took on both defenders instead of sending it over to Dantas, as most people thought he would. And again, tries to send it across to Dantas, but parried away by House.
Yeah, I don't mind that opportunity. Look, if Vinny gets the ball, he's going to kind of be painted in the corner anyway. He's not really going to get a shot off. And, you know, Adriano must have saw an angle that he was trying to get that far post. And if he gets that by the defender, the goalkeeper's not going to see that until it's in the back of the net.
No, I agree, and especially, you also look at game situation. You're up 5-1 as Raley breaks through. He's got Orlando, but unable to control it. You look at game situation, Lee. You're up 5-1 into the third quarter. That's the opportunity to take a play like that, right?
Yeah, listen, absolutely. You know, this is when you want to put the nail in the coffin here. That's why I feel that save from William at the end of the penalty is a big save. You don't want to give them any momentum going into the fourth quarter here.
So 2 games between these two teams is, that's a bad break from Vinny Dantas, as Dantas will get a 3-line pass there, and top of the arc restart for Orlando. So 2 games between these two teams so far, 9-2 the cumulative score. The Blast have dominated. And that looks to continue in the fourth quarter. Hoffman with a wind-up and a save right in Vanzella's chest. Vanzella has some words for the wall. I don't think it was positioned properly. Dantas, Orlando unable to get there. House settles, sends it back out to Mata. And he'll take a shot, wind up with 1 second left, but unable to finish. And that's how the third quarter will end. The Blast 5, the SeaWolves 1. Orlando fighting for their playoff lives. They have 1 quarter left to try and keep in pace with Kansas City and St. Louis. We'll see if they can do it when we come back. You're watching Blast Soccer on MASL.TV. The Baltimore Blast would like to thank Miter USA for providing today's match balls. Miter, founded in Huddersfield, England, is among the world's oldest sporting goods brands, starting production in 1817. And Miter is a proud partner of the Major Arena Soccer League. providing arena-specific match balls to both the MASL and MASL2. The MSL and MITRE share a long vision to see arena soccer grow in North America. MITRE's Astro Division Ball is the official game ball for MASL League play and is designed specifically for play on artificial surfaces. It features a more accurate flight than the average ball and has a 30% reduced bounce to make it play more efficiently in arena soccer. Lee, Paul and I talked about that last time. There's somebody whose job, they went to college for years, and their job was to test the bounce of that ball. They went home and said, honey, you know what I did today? I bounced balls.
Well, you know what? That's not a bad job. At least they got a job.
There it is. Get the latest news on the MASL and your favorite teams. Make sure you are following MASL Soccer on Facebook and Instagram and MASL Arena on Twitter.
Wonder, does that fall under the line of like engineering, aerodynamics?
I guarantee you it falls on the line of making more money than somebody that works at a nonprofit or somebody that works as a teacher.
Fair enough.
So you and I are looking up, my friend. All right, here we go. Guernsey steps over top of the ball, and the fourth quarter is underway. Orlando fighting for their playoff lives. They want to see their season continue. They still have 5 games left after this, but man, is their schedule tough. They have to travel to Harrisburg tomorrow to play a very tough Heat team. They have Kansas City. They're at Milwaukee. Then they play Utica City at home and Florida at home to end the season. That is a tough schedule when you're looking at 2 games in the win column behind, especially this road trip this weekend, Baltimore and Harrisburg back-to-back like that.
Yeah, that's not a schedule as a coach that you want to see when you're fighting for a playoff spot for sure.
For the Blast, 4 games left after tonight. They play on Sunday against Mississauga, who is losing 5-0 right now against Utica City. And then the most important road trip of the season as they play a Friday, Saturday back-to-back against Harrisburg and Utica City. That, for all intents and purposes, will be for the division, and then wrap up the season on April the 6th against Florida. Although that game could have issues all the way across the board, as the Blast can't overlook a pretty dangerous Florida team, even for a last-place Florida team.
No, listen, all the teams in this league, whether they're first place, last place, they have quality players. If you have an off night, you're going to lose a game.
Well, it's hard to win on the road in this sport. There's no doubt about it. The stats show that. House now sends it down low. He can finally step across midfield, and I think he's going to be taking some shots here, as we already saw him do that twice in the first half when he couldn't cross midfield. Now in the fourth quarter, rules change, and he's allowed to. I think he's going to be testing William Vanzella. What do you think?
Yeah, you know what? Actually, it'll be interesting to see, because God knows he took enough shots over midfield and really nice strikes. It's funny because I actually think it bothers William when the other goalkeeper shoots. I think William's almost insulted that the goalkeeper's shooting, because he gets so angry. You see him like he's so angry that the keeper is shooting, which I kind of find funny.
William is a funny guy. He takes things personal, and that's what makes him great at what he does. I mean, he takes such tremendous pride in every aspect as Guernsey sends it across. He takes pride in everything he does on the field, and he has his own idiosyncrasy.
All goalkeepers they're off a little bit. It's like the necessary evil.
There you go. De Oliviero creates a turnover. He's got a 2v3. Unable to do anything as Pereira sends it across. Alvarez will settle. Alvarez. Gerson's got space. He crosses. Unable to finish. That's maybe his 3rd or 4th shot of the day. Pretty ineffective so far. Kid Dynamo unable to capitalize.
Yeah, the Blast has done a fantastic job on Gerson so far. Not only has he not scored, but he really just has not been dangerous most of the night. Lucky if he's had maybe 2 dangerous opportunities through 3 quarters.
There's House with his 3rd shot. He is testing Vanzella.
And Williams upset.
Yeah.
Look at him. And Williams upset. I would love to ask William, does he not want him to shoot?
Yeah,
he's wide open over the yellow line.
Well, the other part is a good shot. He's got a great foot on him. He's tested Vanzella 3 times.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
That is funny that you predicted that. We'll see if William does it. He's been short on a couple 6th attacker throws. He's just missed one a couple games ago. We'll see if Orlando goes to the 6th attacker if he tries to pick up a goal. Of course, we saw one of the weirdest things in indoor soccer I've ever seen. A goalie scored 2 goals.
Yes.
As we saw that Utica City win 9-1, the first loss Baltimore ever had at CQ Arena. as Andrew Coughlin scored 2 goals as the goalie. And here comes House again from the yellow line. He works all the way up inside the box, and he's got to get back. He's already gotten beaten once cheating up.
This is, I got to tell you, this is going to definitely cause the Blast some problems because Orlando is kind of overloading with that, the keeper on the left-hand side because he's left-footed and he's got a great shot and obviously he's smart enough to pass the ball. Great job by Vinny there, drawing a foul, using his body. Not sure what Hoffman's arguing about. It's a good football tackle.
Well, Huffman made a history of arguing. Gets under the skin of his opponents very well. Diesel down in the corner. Alvarez steals it. I'm sorry, Naranjo steals it. Thomas has a break. And there's Alvarez with the blonde hair.
Yeah.
He takes it away from Thomas.
That's unfortunate because the Blast had a little bit of a break there, a mini break. If William plays that ball with the proper weight, I think Thomas is off to the races there. Now, if I was Orlando, I'd be attacking with the keeper, using him as 6th attacker. And listen, they need wins.
Well,
so they're dangerous when he comes out of net. I would be attacking like 6th attacker the entire quarter here.
Start to see him rotate up, and he's yelling for the push-up so he can get that left side as Rojas tries to turn on Raley. Great job by Jeremy Raley. He's been isolated several times down in that point position. He's been equal to the task. And here's a run. Can he get his 2nd goal of the night? Sends it over to Dantas. He's got space in the middle. Dantas looks to create. Sends it across to Donatelli. Donatelli to Raley. Raley shot and a score.
What a beautiful goal. Great job by Vinny. I actually thought he missed his opportunity to shoot, but he must have saw Tony coming late, and he did a great job cutting it behind his back and playing a nice ball.
Raley, Donatelli, and Dantas. We see the ball parry back across. Donatelli sends it over. And the finish from Jeremy Raley came into today's game with 1 goal, and he's doubled that. His season total doubled tonight. 2 goals from Jeremy Raley. And Donatelli picks up his 3rd assist. It's a pretty good game from the Blast captain. 3 assists on that goal, and the Blast are up 6-1 with 10:18 left.
Yeah, I think Raley's done a very good job. He's done a good job of handling Rojas, who's a handful up top. Obviously, getting 2 goals, getting into the attack as well. He's had a good performance today.
There's Schmerman and Guernsey isolated. House will push, but Guernsey doesn't give him enough room to push up. There you go. You'll see him on the left side now. He's got the yellow line. He'll send it back across. Guernsey running across, back and forth. And here comes Mello. Good pressure by Mello. He almost forces the turnover. That's a good job to come off on the keeper. And make it.
Great job. Great job just anticipating, reading the play, jumping the passing lane there.
Gerson and Dos Santos steps in front as Gerson tried to go airborne, and Dos Santos wins the ball, looks to see if he's got space. Pocket picked, but Mello settles down. Oliviero, Hoxie, and Dos Santos have room. John Orlando sneaks down in the corner. I couldn't even see him. He was down there hidden, but he pulls it back out and will resettle.
That's unfortunate. If he plays that to John's front foot, they have an opportunity to maybe play that in the middle or get a shot. He played it to his back foot, and it kind of killed the numbers up situation.
I don't think that Orlando saw Orlando there. As Hoxie has room, 2-on-1, Schmerman back, Donatelli wide open, Dos Santos, Hoxie with room, and what a save from House as he came all the way across his net and knocked down Hoxie's shot. Dos Santos still low, and it's interesting 4v3 as Guernsey just wasn't back on defense.
A little too unselfish there by Tony. I think Tony, being a good teammate, is trying to get Adriano involved for all the good work he's done today.
Give and go from Diesel back to Donatelli, but intercepted. Raley wins the ball. Can he get the hat trick? No, forced down in the corner. Ball taken away. Both teams will probably look to make a switch here as long shifts for both teams. Alvarez gets a run. Guernsey's got space. Guernsey can't settle the ball and turns it over. Raley picks the pocket. So Guernsey had some opportunities this game, but unable to capitalize. Strange for the goal scorer. Look at that move from Mike Diesel. That's a little interesting move. He's got time and space. Tries to send it across to Hoxie. Donatelli open. Donatelli turns. Diesel, look at him. Look at Mike Diesel, the offensive dynamo. Where does that come from?
Right. He's rumbling and stumbling up the field there. Mikey does a good job. Great little counterattack there.
Another shot from Schmerman behind midfield. I mean, it's it's got to be a strategy. If you get a chance to talk at the end of the game, when you talk with the Orlando player, you have to ask about that, Lee, because that really does seem like they've been doing that all game.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what their thought process is there. Was it the size of the field? Was it they feel William is a better reaction saver as opposed to shot stopper from a distance?
Thomas, that'll be a 3-line pass, but they're called a foul beforehand on Thomas. Thomas and House came together. Interesting that they called a foul there. I thought he was trying to lay it out to kick it, but.
So if you have your choice here, do you take away House as the shooter, or do you take away like a Sherman or somebody like that?
Well, I mean, if they're going to do that, I'd just continue to let them, stand in front, let William Vanzella be William Vanzella, and let them keep doing it. I mean, I think you need to step up on House. You can't give him that much space, but, I don't think you're going to lose to a team shooting behind midfield.
No, but House has been smart. He's been coming. He's been getting shots right around the yellow line. Now they're actually pulling. Is that who's the
sixth attacker steps on. We're not sure who that is. Unfortunately, not wearing numbers on their jersey, but sixth attacker steps on for Orlando. And so House was doing a good job as that de facto sixth attacker, but they'll go to an official one here.
I honestly think I would have kept him on and just put him on the left-hand side. He seemed like he had an idea of when to pass, when to shoot.
I agree with you. I thought he was doing a pretty good job as that sixth attacker.
You put Tiago down low. You put House out wide. Interesting.
Either way, Tom Traxler disagrees, goes to the sixth attacker. 6 minutes left. It's a 6-1 lead. That's a lot of sixes in a row. Alvarez with a shot. And Schmerman, look at that save. Ball knocks around and it'll be cleared out. William Vanzella gets the crowd up to their feet. This has been a heck of a defensive effort from the Baltimore Blast there.
Yeah, great save by William. And just to be clear, I'm sure Draxler has a much better understanding of his team than I have of his team. So
Spoken like a true coach.
So I'm sure he's making the right decisions. I'm just guessing from
5:55 left
here.
in the fourth quarter. Officials timeout on the field. We'll take 1-2. We'll be back. There's the restart. Gertson, you let it go. Goes through. Schmerman with a shot. Unable to go through. Alvarez will settle down along the boards. Dos Santos forces the turnover. Look at that scissor kick from Dos Santos. Unfortunately, it's going to carry out into the boards, but fortunately for the Blast, it does bounce before it goes out of bounds, so not a restart.
Yeah, great job by Diesel there, getting low, making the shooter go high. William obviously is standing above there.
I got to tell you, this game's been hard to call from a play-by-play perspective because you got 4 guys on this Orlando City team that got that blonde hair on the top. They all look the same.
Yes.
Trying to figure it out is that Schmerman steps across and sends it to the other blonde, Gerson rather. Dos Santos fights with Tiago, and that'll be a restart top of the arc. Oh, that should have been a restart top of the arc.
I just thought it was interesting that the official was looking over at the other official to see if he saw it from the other side of the field.
Yeah, looks at it. Dustin Killick steps in, young official. He's done a good job here tonight,
No,
especially
absolutely.
with teams that have struggled a little bit maintaining their composure against each other. We talked about the number of penalties. We should mention Shane Butler is our head referee today. Trey Prell and Rick Barnes join him on the bench. Donatelli has some room. Oh, look at that save from the 6th attacker.
Great.
Donatelli puts it right in his chest.
Great ball by Mello. Fantastic weight. Keeper does a good job making himself big.
What was the call there, Lynn? I'm not sure what happened.
I think it was a pass back.
Oh, it was a pass back. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. 6th attacker picks it up. Good call. And the goalie steps back on. House runs back on. Pass back to the goalie was the call. Mello, Donatelli, Dos Santos, Diesel, and Raley. Blast have scored 2 goals, and they're going to take it on restarts, and they're going to look to get a third. They call a timeout. 4:54 left in the 4th quarter. 6-1 lead.
Yeah, so it was interesting how Rojas was lining up there. He was lining up on Tony to take that pass down low, and I think Tony saw it, and he wanted it so he could just shoot it back post.
Didn't seem very happy with the timeout.
No, it'll be interesting to see. You know, I'm sure he's going to talk about that now. So see if they come to Tony's side. They have an advantage, obviously, with the 2-on-1 on that side. Danny's drawing something up with his fingers.
There's a couple landmark milestones coming up for the Blast. Adriano Dos Santos, 1 more goal, and he'll have 75 career regular season goals. We mentioned Mike Diesel had his 100th game today. He's 4 blocks away from 50 regular season blocks in his career. Mello 2 assists away from 50. And Vinny Datas only 4 goals away from his 100th goal. 3 goals now. He picked up 1 today. 3 goals away from 197. He's also only 2 assists away from 100 regular season assists and 6 points away from 150 career regular season points. And then William Vanzella, if he picks up the win today, Sunday he'll be going for 3rd place in the Blast all-time win total. He'll surpass Segu as the 3rd winningest goalie in Blast history. Mello over to Donatelli, and Donatelli buries it. Tony Donatelli had 3 assists on the restart, and he picks up his 2nd goal on a restart.
What a great left-footed shot that was.
Almost a mirror image of the first goal we saw when Dos Santos had the assist, as Mello sends it across opposite sides of the field, but the result the same. You see it across, and the same left foot buries it across the net. It's almost, it's a mirror image.
Nah, listen, it's great to see Tony on the score sheet on both ends. He's, you know, the Blast is going to go as Tony goes. I mean, he's the leader of this team in many ways, so it's nice to see him hitting stride heading into playoffs.
2 goals and 3 assists for the Blast captain, and that's good to see. And then 6th attacker makes a mistake, and that'll be a restart. We still don't know who that 6th attacker is. No, absolutely. And then good job by Orlando as House rotates in on the restart. Dantas, Mello, Donatelli, Hoxie, and Dos Santos. That's an interesting 3-forward lineup here as Hoxie, Dantas, and Dos Santos. That's a lot of size on the forward. Mello gets a little cute, tries to chip it over the wall, knocks it in instead.
I think he realized he was just running out of time.
Mata kicks it down to Vanzella. Diesel comes on for Vinny Dantas. 4:27 left, and House stays on the field.
So Tony now ties Billy Ronson.
Yep, there it is.
There
You're
it
right.
goes.
There
So
it is. And
good for Billy. I mean, good for Tony. See if he can get 1 more tonight.
12th all time. There it is. You're right. It's William Vanzella, another save. Man, he's had a great game today.
Yeah, no,
he
listen,
has really
Williams
stepped up.
Williams had a good game.
He's been left exposed on some of those wide shots, and he's been equal to the task. But, yep, as you mentioned it, Tony Donatelli came in 2 goals behind Billy Ronson and some guy named Lee who played for the Blast. I don't know. That must have been before my time.
That guy's old.
Well, maybe when you go down there, you have to tell Tony that now he is now in 12th place in the Blast all-time scoring list. An illustrious company. Of course, Billy Ronson, I remember my childhood. I mean, that seemed like he scored 5 goals every game. I can't believe it. Oh, as Raley tried so hard for the hat trick there. Great save by House. Gerson has some room, beats Vanzella, but not by the goal. And Diesel will settle.
It's interesting.
Oh, look at Diesel and Schmerman come together, and Diesel will pick up the blue card. Oh, and then Gerson just throws the ball at Diesel. I guess we're not going to call that.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, he flicked it at him.
Yeah,
I guess
interesting
not,
here. Who got the 2 minutes? Sherman got it, not Diesel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I got to tell you, I've seen more from Gerson, more effort in the last 4 minutes than I did the entire game.
Wow, that's an interesting call. I thought for sure. I mean, Diesel came in hard there. What they're going to call obstruction on Schmerman. So, interesting. Obstruction the call, and the Blast will have their first power play. So we mentioned it, the teams average 5 power plays in the games against them. This is only the 3rd one. Dantas has space, tries to come back heel to Mello, unable to finish.
Vinny's getting a little cute there, and Adriano is not happy because that was the easy pass. He was wide open, and you want to reward the big man for working hard all game.
I love the fact that the Blast are up 7-1 with 3 minutes left, and they're arguing over scoring opportunities.
Listen, man, that's what makes the great teams great. It's not necessarily the scoring opportunity; it's playing the right ball.
The right way, right?
Yep. So that's what makes the great teams great.
Well, you've seen it already from Adriano before. After the Blast scored, he pulls over John Orlando and he tries to talk to him. Instead of celebrating the goal, he wants to talk about what could have happened better.
Yeah.
Mello's all the way across.
Listen, guys understand when they get lucky and when they're doing things right. Yep. So if they score a goal, obviously, if they're happy if they score a goal and it should have went a different way, they let each other know.
Nope, and then we're going to see a yellow card on Huffman. That was coming a long time. He was standing directly face-to-face with the official, and Dustin did a good job there of holding his composure for a while, but Huffman just went on and on. He was 6 inches from the official's face. I mean, that's just, you're going to get that every time. I mean, there's no, and that'll be a second yellow. So he picks up another one, so Huffman, 2 yellows. He'll be in the box for the rest of the game. The Blast have 1 minute, 9 seconds left in the power play. Huffman will be down. Gerson arguing his case. Well, we had to get to 5. We've gotten to 4.
Happened rather quickly here in the 4th quarter. Gerson's about to get one himself here.
He frankly probably should have gotten one at this point, but good job by the officials. Long restart here, waiting. Mello, and look at Dos Santos. Dos Santos is queuing up, ready for the bicycle. He wanted it all the way across. He was turned. He was looking for it, wanted that chip, but Mello thought better of it. Donatelli sends it back to Hoxie. Hoxie up to Dos Santos. 2 minutes and 37 seconds left. And more likelihood, this is the last 2 minutes of the Orlando season that'll really matter, as this is a tough loss for them to make with the remaining playoffs, or the remaining schedule that they have. For the Blast, they keep pace with Utica City, who's up 5-1 in Mississauga. That game has 3 minutes left in the 4th quarter, so looks like both teams will move to 14-6 and stay tied in first place. Dantas is going to blast this. Just misses the net. You could see that coming a mile away. Donatelli works it across. The Blast not letting off at all. Up 7-1. Mello gets tripped again. Rojas takes him down, and Mello's gotten beat up this game.
Yeah, but listen, at the end of the day, this late in the game, you got to know that you're going to take some hits. So just move the ball. Just move the ball. Try to, give your body a little bit of a break here.
Nice job by House to step out in front of Hoxie. Hoxie gets the ball down low. 28 seconds left on the penalty. Ball worked around. Dos Santos down to Mello. Mello has Dantas on, he spins and shoots. Almost gets it past House. House celebrates the save.
So House has got 7 goals that are put past him, and I think he's had an excellent game.
He has played pretty well.
He's played
faced
well.
25 shots, 26 with that last play. But I agree with you. He's played pretty well.
Yeah.
And he's had 3 great shots of his own. He could easily have 3 goals if William Vanzella wasn't equal to the task.
Yeah, he's had a number of good opportunities.
Speaking of William Vanzella, how about 34 shots and only 1 goal allowed? 34 shots from Orlando and 1 goal allowed. I'd say that's a pretty good effort from William Vanzella.
No, absolutely.
Penalty has expired. The team's back at even strength. Orlando, De Oliveira, Dos Santos, Hoxie, and Donatelli for the Blast. Goff steps on the field for one of the first shifts I've seen him play today for Orlando. And Lee will head down now to do the post-game interviews. Dos Santos has got some space, wide open, chips it across. House was coming back on and just got back in time. Dos Santos unable to find the net, but De Oliveira is fouled, and the Blast will have a restart. Dangerous opportunity for the Blast. Orlando, Donatelli, De Oliveira, Hoxie, and Dos Santos. Ball just outside the box, and House will step into the wall. And Donatelli will send it back to Dos Santos. Dos Santos with a shot, but it's wide, or high, excuse me, high. And 54 seconds left now in the 4th quarter in the game. Orlando sees their very slim shot at a playoff probably go away. The Blast keep pace with Utica City. Donatelli heads it back out to Schmerman. Guernsey has some space. Guernsey sends it over to Orlando. Spilled behind the play, and they're going to call the foul behind the ball. John Orlando wanted to carry on as he had Donatelli coming down wide. John knew that he had a scoring opportunity, didn't want the foul called, but Guernsey was spilled behind, and Guernsey and Schmerman go over and shake hands. Guernsey limping off. Donatelli will preside over the ball, and Dos Santos is over at the bench trying to sub off. Donatelli was going to send it back to him. He'll send it back to William Vanzella instead. Vanzella pressured by Gerson. Guernsey wins the ball. 33 seconds left. John Orlando will dribble around. Gerson not giving up as he goes and pressures. Takes down John Orlando. Helps him back up. So a quiet game from Gordy Gerson as he plays the Blast 2 games this year, unable to score in either game. John Orlando down in the corner working. 20 seconds left, takes the double team, still tries to win it. Raley comes in for the Blast, and that'll be a drop ball called. So Rojas and Tiago down there, unable to win it from Orlando. Orlando lets the ball go to House. House will distribute down to Gerson, who was cherry picking. Gerson down there, sends it across, but unable to finish. Raley with 8 seconds left, he'll dribble it out. Fitting 2 goals from Jeremy Raley, and he'll get the opportunity to dribble it out, but no, Schmerman takes it, and Schmerman unable to do anything with it as Guernsey comes through with a slide, and that's the final whistle. Our score here tonight, Blast 7, Orlando 1. And the Blast keep pace with Utica City and stay in a tie with first place in the MASL Eastern Division. As we look across the league, as it looks like Utica City has scored again against the 6th attacker from Mississauga. And so that game will be in the books as well. And we're going to have a fun end to the regular season. For Orlando, they have to move on. They play tomorrow against the dangerous Harrisburg Heat team, a team that's really come into their own in the second half of the season. And for the Blast, they have 1 day off before facing this Mississauga team that's losing 6-1 to Utica City as we speak. And that's an important division game for the Blast as they have no room to give up any losses. So Huffman is over making his case against both officials. Huffman not afraid to state his opinion and over there discussing animatedly with the officials, but he'll disagree with whatever they say. And we see Coach Tom Traxler over there joining him as well, trying to keep his player from getting in trouble. Let's take a look at the screen now as we look at our save of the game. And here it comes. Here's the save of the game, and it'll be William Vanzella. The ball comes across. That was Alvarez with the blast, and William Vanzella pushes it up over top. Stoles the crowd there. Great job by William on the save of the game. Chesapeake Employers sponsors that. We appreciate that. And then we see Lee Chantre down with Danny Kelly talking and having fun with his former teammate Danny Kelly. And so we'll wait for him to grab probably, I would guess, Tony Donatelli as our player of the game if I had to choose, which Apparently I don't today because Lee's down there. So we'll see, take a look at some of the final stats as we wait for the interview to occur. The final shots on goal, Orlando had 34 shots on goal. After 22 in the first half, they only shoot 12 shots in the second half and ended up only winning the shots battle 34 to 26. 34 to 26, the shot battle. Jeremy Raley had 3 blocks to go along with his 2 goals. Adriano Dos Santos picked up a block as well. The Blast team had 8 blocks total to 10 for Orlando. Orlando had 19 fouls in the game, 19 fouls, while the Blast picked up 8. And William Vanzella will be credited with 25 saves on the 34 shots. 25 saves from William Vanzella, while House will pick up 12 saves in the losing effort. William Vanzella, 1 goal, surrendered 25 saves. That's a heck of an effort from William Vanzella. He could easily be the player of the game as well as we wait for the interview. And it looks like Lee is trying to find somebody down there to talk with. He's fighting. It's a tough job. You can see him pulling somebody back off the bench here. And you got to go body him up, Lee. All right, we'll see Danny Kelly, maybe. We'll pull Danny Kelly back across. Well, Lee's fighting. Well, all right, Lee, I'm sorry, but we're going to have to cut it short here as we now have to move on from our broadcast. You've been watching Blast Soccer on MASL.TV. Our final score from Towson, Maryland, Blast 7, Orlando 1. We hope you enjoyed our broadcast. On behalf of Lee Chandre, all the people in our broadcast crew that make this possible, thank you for joining us tonight. We'll see you on Sunday at 3 o'clock when Paul Mittermeier will return and we go back to our normal broadcast booth. Thank you and good night.